The very recent incident in the capital, the national capital, Delhi, what we saw was, to say the least, horrific incident. So to talk about more in terms of insights, what really should be done in terms of women's safety. Everyone's been talking about, there should be more deployment of the police personnel, or for that matter, bring in more CCTV cameras. And also in terms of very recent incident here in the city of Bengaluru itself, we went on to see how a young girl, at least about 19 years, she was stabbed to death inside the college corridor. So what's really happening here in the city? To speak to us and share more insights about it, we are joined in by young women here of the Mount Carmel College, the second PU students. I'm sure you know what we're talking about, but everyone's been, every time that I've asked students about what should really be done, every time I've gotten the response that there should probably be more of police personnel deployed, or even for that matter, CCTV cameras. Now coming to you, what's your good name?
My name is Kushi Mahesh,
Okay.
and I'm studying science PCMB
Oh,
in Mount Carmel College. So this is my second year, and I can give a little bit of insight
okay,
about.
great. What do you think should be actually done?
Okay, so I think that instead of enforcing police, police support or CCTV cameras, I think it should be more of womanhood. So as we know that from certain incidents, there's always a friend that's present with that girl that's being harassed or any type of sexual involvement. And so if that friend can contact some authority, or if that friend has some sort of trust with the girl that was there, and so it's important to choose your friends wisely. And also in certain situations, I think it's more important for the girl to be surrounded by women as well as educating men. So if any incident takes place, then you should first go into any woman-like society that you find.
I understand what she brought out there, the recent Delhi incident where the friend was not really in a position to help the victim here. Do you think there was lack of sensitization here? Why do you think, what could have really gone in the mind of the...
She was probably scared, and I think that's something that everybody should work on. Women should not be thought to, like cover up, be scared, put your head down. More like put your head up. If you think something's wrong, speak up for it. Be confident in yourself. If you know you're not wrong, you're not wrong. If you think something that's not right, then speak up for it, because you have the right as a citizen of India.
Okay, so there's a social stigma attached to it.
Yeah,
Do you
like-
want to talk about it?
Yeah, giving an example, a few months back we went to another college for an inter-college fest. So 50 of us were walking through the footpath going to enter that college campus, and our teacher was leading us, and our teacher got catcalled by a auto driver who was driving on the same lane. So, and all of us were so shocked because we saw our teacher getting catcalled, and she chose to ignore it because she was concerned of the fact that 50 girls were standing right behind her. So what if she said something and that
The auto driver could have retaliated.
yeah, and I think she was concerned about the students. So, and I feel like even in movies we see that it's shown as normal. If you see like
Yeah.
English or something, almost every actress gets catcalled or something, and I feel it's normalized now that even the actress chooses to ignore it. So that's what we thought, ignore it and it's normal now.
Were you the same students with the teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you all do? What was the first thing
We
in
were
your
just
mind?
shocked because you don't expect your teacher to get catcalled right in front of you, and the teacher said it's okay, leave it, we'll just move ahead into the campus instead of creating a scene.
Much later after that incident, have you given it a thought? What you could have done?
Yeah.
I feel like we could have definitely stood up for it and spoken, because I feel like we always hold back ourselves thinking what the other person's do, or what the other person's going to do, or are we going to give a wrong message, which is just not okay. I feel like we should definitely stand up for ourselves rather than holding back and saying leave it, it's okay. I feel like we should definitely look out for ourselves, because nobody else is going to really look out for anybody.
Would you like to share any in terms of any personal experiences that you've had and what you have done or what you could not do?
Yeah, so recently itself when I was in the bus, I had experience where somebody was touching me in the wrong way. And to be honest, my bus stop had come and I couldn't really do anything about it, and everybody was just looking. I feel like other people could have stood up for me. And one more thing which is really important is I feel like as young girls, we have to be able to be comfortable enough to talk to our parents about this. Not many of us actually feel comfortable about telling our parents that, okay, this happened, because we feel like maybe some of them may say, don't travel by bus, or like, don't do this or don't do that, don't wear these kind of clothes.
So there's like, it looks like more of even sensitization that need to be done for your parents as well, right? So have you had that kind of an experience where you had second thoughts? How exactly do you tell your parents, and what was that?
Yeah, I think, a lot of Indian parents are like really strict, and mostly it's towards the female child. So I think a lot of students, girls in general, are scared to tell their parents about what happened. But also you've heard of the thing like, your sibling also can be your third parent. So in my case, like my sister was a part of another college. She was doing degree. So she used to travel by metro. There, another college student groped her, and she had the confidence to go slap that college student. But the college student obviously is like, how can she do this to me in front of everybody? So when she walked out of the metro to switch to another metro, so she saw him following. She saw him following
He
her.
was stalking her.
Yeah, he was stalking her, and she obviously like got a little scared obviously in that situation, but she went and spoke to the female security guard in the metro station, and that female security guard made sure that he didn't step inside the same train as my sister did. So that like got in that confidence in me, like if I know something's wrong, I will stand up for it no matter what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts to share in terms? You have. Okay.
So there was a recent case like 2 days ago. Like this girl, she's getting catcalled in the metro. So there was this understanding. She came in. I was with my mom. So she came and she sat with us. She never really spoke to us, but there was an understanding between us that she was getting catcalled. So we were there for her by the time she got out of the metro and got out of the metro station and got into an auto. So I feel like females should look out for other females and not like, even if that person can't really stand out, like there should be somebody who's going to step out and not think about what the society is going to say, what or somebody else is going to say, or you're going to be caught in this mess, rather than you should like help somebody else out.
Okay. So there are multiple things to be looked at. One, of course, you're talking about if you are accompanied by someone and that someone does not or fail to help, or maybe is unable to think at the moment, right? There's no presence of mind. But there is a second instance as well when you're alone. Any incident of that? How y'all retaliated? Anything?
Yeah, so this one time I actually got catcalled when I was alone, and at that time there wasn't any authority around or anything. So the first course of action that I took, as they show in movies, you go to the closest woman that you see and you sort of bond with them, and you ask them, even without them knowing, you kind of have a mutual understanding of what's going to go on, And so with that in mind, when you just get to safety with that person, it's more approachable to getting to a safer condition instead of just like being in that danger zone is what I think.
Right.
Mhm.
Any thoughts on in terms of how you can make, the places that are safer for women? Anybody? You want to talk?
I feel like the thing is we have to change everybody's mindsets and make sure we target their mindset saying that it is not okay to treat women as objects, and especially men. From their house itself, from their childhood itself, they have to be taught. And there are instances where, yes, men do help other women. And I think we need to make that more common and like we
More
can...
normal.
Yeah, more normal. Exactly. Yeah.
So, where do you live? Do you live in any societies? Any of y'all? Or apartments? Apartments. I'm sure you'll have apartment associations. Do any sensitization happen there?
Not really. I feel like nobody throws light into that. I feel like everybody overlooks the situation rather than, I feel like it's a very sensitive topic. They rather overlook it than, speak about it or talk about it unless something really serious happens. I feel like that's only when people only because of the situation people bring light
Or
into
maybe
it.
I believe, these situations are talked more when it actually hits you.
Yeah.
When it is
When it's
personal.
you personally,
When
I
it's
feel like-
personal. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with that because even right now, as everyone said, we're talking about it, but then when some woman we see something happen to her on the road, I think everyone just
You want to walk
chooses
past that because
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
want to be involved in
yeah
it.
because we fear what will happen after that we don't want to get dragged into that
We
mess.
fear the consequences that are
Yeah.
held along with it rather than our first thought should be to help the person. We're like, what is going to happen if we get into this mess? How are we going to be bought into it? I feel like our first thought should be to help the person rather than anything else.
Well, you're a young women and you were talking about your live in apartments and probably what can be done from your end? You said that there is no such talks. They don't want to talk, maybe because of the taboo associated, which is what they think, right? What can you do about it? How do you want to change that?
I feel like people should definitely talk about it not as a sensitive topic. Like it should be open. Both men and women should be on a playing field and it should be brought into notice rather than just men or just women. Like I feel like a lot of homes teach women and not the men. They're like, you should dress a certain way, you should do this, and not like men should be taught how to respect and help if somebody is in danger. Any woman, or you don't have to be related to the person. I feel like you should be taught to help a person without like being related.
Yeah, because even I really thought about, when you have every area, there is this association. You have a lot of kitty parties happening. You have a lot of planning happening, but not something as serious as this, right? I believe that's something which more of in a societal level that should be brought out. Well, thank you girls for joining us here on NDTV. Not just how many of us have seen, especially whether it is for the police or even for that matter for the government. Of course, we have seen there are various level of associations, people coming out, creating awareness door to door. Now you have also election awareness coming up, or for that matter, you've seen health awareness door to door. But how many of them have seen, the awareness created by the government themselves? That is especially at all levels, whether that is weaker sections or economically very well-to-do sections. There's nothing, that is somewhere we lack here in society level. But speaking to these women, we understand that is where exactly they have to begin, which is sensitization within the society. In Bengaluru with Govind, Shrija for NDTV.